This is a message to Republicans. You keep saying that we want free stuff and that the government can't do anything right. So you need an education. The microchip, the internet, GPS, touchscreens, space travel, those are a few examples of world-changing technology that was created by our government or required massive financial support from our government. Now, I paid for that with a third of my money in the form of taxes, but I didn't get a return because all our technology was just given away to private industries, and then it was sold back to us so that someone else could profit. Now, that's what free stuff looks like. Am I supposed to pay money to breathe, or have access to water, or community, or civilization, or is that my natural right being born on the planet? Because that's what economic rights mean. They mean I have a right to participate in the economy without having to be born into the Trump family or some other social predator's bloodline. Now, I'm going to teach you another word, democracy. Now, wannabe mobsters, they love saying the government's bad at everything. When a government's ruled by the people, it's called our voice. So it's not bad. And you're not going to silence our voice. And whether it's the oil industry or the criminal justice system or the International Monetary Fund or Facebook or Congress or the presidency, if any organization becomes oppressive and unaccountable, that's tyranny. And then when we make them accountable, that's democracy. Now, Republican leadership today, they're against democracy, and they're not even trying to hide it. They are only in power because of an undemocratic electoral college that was created by slaveholders. They're only in power right now because we have an undemocratic institution called the Senate that gives a single resident of Wyoming as much voting power as 68 people in California. Because every state gets 2 senators, doesn't matter how many people live in them, and Republicans love that. They love how millions more Americans vote for Democrats but don't get any representation because they love free stuff, just like the Founding Fathers. Well, guess what? Slavery's over. States are not people. Corporations are not people. Concentrated power and wealth and a master race and master culture, none of that is democracy. And your sacred Constitution is long overdue for a rewrite, as holy of a document as you've been thinking it is, conditionally, of course. Because even the empire-hungry colonists would have been disgusted by your handing over everything, sir, yes, sir, to the lords and ladies of big box stores, oil, and money that Republicans are worshiping today. The American dream made us famous all over the world. We gave people hope. But Republicans love it so much more now that people have the worst chance at making it here than any other rich nation. They prefer the class system, the caste system, extreme inequality, and poverty. Because keeping other people down, the communist, the Mexican, the scary pronoun, whatever word they want to give them, it makes them feel superior, like the old days, scared and demonizing whatever's out in the woods, outside of the colony. It doesn't matter that their lives aren't much better. They're living through the achievements of their gods, icons of money, power, cruelty, and dripping arrogance. And that's why they love a fabric flag more than the human flesh and blood that live and die under it, because they're idol worshippers. And that is exactly what Jesus and Muhammad and Moses told you not to do. How dare you invoke the name of the Almighty and his messengers against the weak, the meek, and the poor? The prophets led movements of the persecuted before they were overtaken by the persecutors, who allied themselves with totalitarians like you're doing now with modern-day Saudi Arabia and Israel under Netanyahu and this radical Christian cult, all for a dirty oil empire that is soaked in the blood of men, women, and children, and all the creatures of the earth. Now, when Republican leaders say they love freedom, they love the freedom of unchecked domination. And their followers, they love the freedom to live out some paranoid revenge fantasy of needing a firearm in case their superiority gets challenged in a Walmart or on some street in Portland. If you're wondering what set me off, I just saw how the right-wing PR machine's uplifting war criminal soldiers that the Navy condemned and their dear leader pardoned. And I guess some people on the right want these savages to campaign with their master as heroes. And they think a Navy SEAL calling out war crimes is somehow political correctness. Well, my grandfather would disagree with you. This Republican goon squad worships the government when it gives them illegitimate authority over the people. Then they march in lockstep, drunk with their abuse of power. Well, no. You can't have our democracy. You can't make it a great republic for slaveholders and wage slavery, not again, not now, not ever. We beat you and your masters in the Civil War. We beat you on the beaches of Normandy. We beat you in Birmingham, and we're going to beat you again. Because the truth wins. And you can stand by while all our communications networks get drowned with some Russian psychological warfare. You can redraw all our maps with a Sharpie. You can keep suppressing the voting rights of our Black, Brown, and First Nation brothers and sisters. And go ahead. Keep using the old slave laws to false multiply your votes. Keep tricking all your scared, angry, ignorant old white people into supplication before your orange golden calf. But we're going to beat you. We're going to replace you. And we're going to change the culture. If not this election, then out in the streets. Because you cannot have this land. You cannot have this country. It was never yours in the first place.